Hi crocheters of the world, in this tutorial I want to show you how to crochet this gilet, really vest or gilet, really easy. I worked it with a very nice yarn, but because it's variegated I will show you the pattern with a one color yarn, of course, because I want you to understand. And this is the idea of the tutorial. And this is a pattern or a design, actually better, that I came up with, and you will see it's really easy. Now let me just explain it to you something, some details of the pattern. So if you can see, let me put it like this. Yes. Oh, first of all, I want to present the yarn that I used for it. It's this one. It's Barocco Boboli lace, and it has a nice composition. It's 42 wool, 35 acrylic, and 23 viscose. It's really nice, and it gives this nice and shiny effect. The viscose actually, and you can work it with any kind of yarn that you want. If you want it more for summer, so you can work it in cotton and viscose, or cotton and line, or I don't know. So there are so many beautiful yarns out there. And of course you can work it with any kind of hook, so yarn and hook. Okay, I worked with a 4mm hook. Now you can work it with 3.5, depends on the yarn that you use, that you choose for it. And there's no problem. I will show you that you can work it for any kind of size to fit and any kind of yarn. So now, what I want to show you first is that we have here, as you can see, 3 chain 2 space. This is chain 2, so 3 spaces, and we have 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what you have to understand is that the first triangle, it's the right side, front right side. The 2 triangles, the second and the third, are the back side, and the last one, so the fourth, is the right side front. This is left side front, right side front, and these 2 is the back side. Now this chain 2 space, these 2 are the shoulder lines. Okay. So actually with these 2, as you can see, here we have the open for the arm. So with these 2 lines we will go on until we reach the limit, so the shoulder actually, okay? Then we will work separately the first triangle, then these 2 for the back side, and then the other one for the front side. The same number of rows, of course, that we need for the length of the open arm, and then we will work together again all the triangles, all 4 triangles. Now let us begin, so you will understand better, of course, but believe me, the concept, it's really easy. Now of course we will just have to slip knot to begin, and now chain 4. And in each of this chain we will work a group of 3 double crochets with a chain 2 in between them. So like this we have, actually from the very first row we just have the 4 triangles that we need. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to chain 3 again for the first double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the 4th chain from the hook, and work 2 more. And this is my first triangle. Now chain 2, insert the hook into the next chain, and work another group of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And again, and chain 2 space. Into the second to last chain, work 1 more group of 3 double crochets. And now chain 2 again, and into the last, work your last group of 4th group of 3 double crochets. And now we have our 4 triangles ready. Now, of course, what we have to do, so we have 4 separate, so actually there are 4, yes, let's say 4 separately units. So we have front side, these 2, and back side, which are the 2 triangles. Divide by a chain 2 space. Now these, as I said before, these 2 chain 2 space are the shoulder lines, and when we reach the shoulder, so we work all the shoulder, we just have to stop and to work 1 triangle, then this part of the back side, and then this one separately. And the number of rows you will be you to decide. That will be the number of rows, the length of the arm space. Okay, now this is the first row, and I will show you in each row what I'm working on 1 triangle, because you just have to repeat exactly the same thing for the other 3. Now we will increase on one side and on the other side, so I am talking about 1 triangle now, because as I said before, you have to repeat exactly the same thing for the other 3. Now in this we will increase on one side and on the other side, so at the beginning and at the end of the triangle, until we reach the shoulder, until we actually work all the shoulder. Then we will increase only on one side, so at the beginning of this triangle, at the beginning of this one, and here we will increase only before and after the chain 2 space in the middle, so for the back side. Second row, chain 3, so we begin with an increase, chain 3, and into the very first stitch work 1 double crochet, work 1 double crochet into the second double crochet, and into the third work an increase. So as I said, we increase in each, so at the beginning and at the end. Now continue on, chain 2, and work the same thing into each of your remaining 3 triangles. So I finished my second row, and always work the last increase of the last triangle into the chain 3, third chain of the previous row. Okay, now from the third, no, it's the third, yes, 1 2 3, from the third row we will begin the sequence to repeat, and to repeat until we reach the entire, we cover the entire shoulder. Okay, so we cover the entire shoulder, and what I mean for this is that when you put the shawl, not now of course, after some rows you work, when you put the shawl around you, the shawl actually it's the gilet around you, these 2 chain 2 spaces are the lines of the shoulder. Okay, so when with these 2 chain 2 spaces cover all the shoulder, you just stop, and we will work the 1 unit. The first unit, the second is the back side, and then this one separately, because we want to put here the armhole, but we just want to take it step by step. So third row, as I said, is the first row of the repeating sequence. Now of course we will continue on increasing on first and on the last stitch on each triangle. It's exactly the same thing that I show you on 1. It's exactly the same that you have to repeat on the other 3. So chain 3, and into the very first double crochet work 1 more stitch. This is the increase. Now what we have here into the second row, we have 5 double crochets. So because we have 5 double crochet into the first and into the last, we know that we increase, and we have 3 more. Now what I want to do is to transform these 3 double crochets into 1 shell of 3 double crochet. So which means I skip the first, insert the hook into the second, and work 3 double crochets. So this is a 3 double crochet shell. Then I skip the last of the 3 So can you see? I already worked my 3 stitches in the middle here. Now I skip the last because I work it, and into the last of the 3, and into the very last stitch I work my increase. And of course this is what you have to continue on and to repeat in each of your remaining 3 triangles. Of course, chain 2 space in between, don't forget about it. So I finished. On all my triangles I have the same thing. 2 double crochets, which is the increase, 1 shell, 1 increase, chain 2, 1 increase, 1 shell, 1 increase, chain 2, 1 increase, 1 shell, 1 increase, chain 2, 1 increase, 1 shell, 1 increase. Okay. Now, this was the first row of the sequence to repeat. Now we already have 2 double crochets on one and the other side, and we have a shell in the middle. Now we go on and we increase on the first and on the last, and we will have 3 single double crochets on one side and on the other side, and 1 shell in the middle for the 4th row, and which is the 2nd row to repeat. So chain 3, turn yarn over into the very first double crochet, work 1 double crochet, which means we already work a increase. Now into the 2nd double crochet, work a double crochet, and now we have the shell, which means we will continue on working our shell over this one, which means we skip first, insert the hook into the 2nd double crochet, we work 3 double crochets, skip the last, and now work 1 double crochet into the 2nd to last and 1 increase into the last. We begin and finish with an increase. And now, as I said before, we have 3 double crochets, 1 shell, and 3 double crochets. Continue on working like this for the other 3 triangles. Don't forget about the chain 2 space in between them. Okay, now let us begin. So I finished with my 2nd row of the sequence to repeat, which is my 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let us begin with our 5th row, which is our 3rd row of the sequence to repeat. Begin with chain 3 and 1 more double crochet into the very first double crochet, which is my first increase. Okay, now I have here 2 more double crochet to work. So 1 and 2. And what I have here now, how many stitches I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that I have 4 stitches, I have 1 for the increase into the next row, 1, and I have my group of 3, which means into the next stitch, into the next row, I can work on these 3 again, 1 shell. And of course the same thing at the end. Which means we work our shell, now we continue on. We work our shell, we skip 1 double crochet of the group of 3, work into the 2nd, 3 double crochet and skip the last one. And now we work all the stitches, 1, 2, and into the last we don't want to forget to increase. Now, there is one, if you think this way is too difficult for you, you can work so easy. You can work only double crochets. So increase into the first and into the last double crochet, and the rest work all the double crochets as they are. So you don't have to work the chain, you don't have to work the shells, you just work into the first, into the second, into the third, and so on. Into each of your double crochet work 1 double crochet, and into the first and into the last work an increase until you finish. So until this chain 2 space line, these 2, arrive at the end of your shoulders. Okay, so as easy as that. Now chain 2 and continue on repeating the same thing that we did here into the next 3 triangles. And now let's work the 6th row, which is the last row of the sequence to repeat. And actually there are only 1, 2, 3 rows to repeat of the sequence to repeat. So the 3rd, where we work the shell, and then 2 more, because if you look on this side, so on both sides, where we increase, we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4. And when we have 4, we know that into the very next row we work into the first and into the last. We work the increases, and into the 3 and 3 we add 2 more shells on one side and on the other side. And this is what we will work into this 6th row. So chain 3, turn and work the increase, which means 1 more double crochet into the very first. Now we have our group of 3 double crochets here, and we skip first, work into the second, 3 double crochets, and now we just adding our shell, 1 shell. Now yarn over, and we will work into the next shell, which is this one in the middle, into the second stitch of the next shell. 1, 2, 3. Of course we skip the last of the group of 3 because we already work it. We skip one more and into the second of the next shell we work 1, 2 and 3. Now we have 2 shells. Yarn over, and we have the group of 3, the last one. And into this last group of 3 we work exactly the same thing. So we work a shell, so we skip one. Of course we skip, so I just want to think of the shell. So we skip one, work the shell, skip one, and again skip one. So on our 3, I'm speaking of our 3, the group of 3, okay? So shell, which one, skip one, because actually in between the shells work 3 double crochets. In between the shells we actually can say we skip 2, but it's the last of the previous shell at the first of the shell, okay? And we skip one, and into the last we work the increase. And as you can see now, this row, it's exactly the same thing exactly the same thing as this row. So the 3rd row, actually the first of the repeating sequence, because it's exactly with 2 stitches on one side, on the other side, and the shell. But now we have, here we have only 1, here we have 3. And in each 3rd row, so it's 1, 2, 3, no, it's, 1, 2, 3rd row, you will add 2 more shells. So from 3 you will have 5 and so on, then 7, then 9. So it will be actually a even odd number of shells you will have, okay? And this is how you have to go on until, as I said, the shell, these 2 lines of chain 2 will cover the shoulder. Okay, that's all. Now I will just continue on repeating the sequence some, I don't know, maybe 2 times more, and then I will be back to show you how to work the separate parts, so to leave the armhole free. Now you will repeat, so you will finish this sequence, so first of working separately, you will have to work to finish with a round with a double crochet, with a increase, and the shells, adding 2 more shells. So this will be the row where you will stop, okay? First off, opening the armholes, sorry. Okay, now as I said, let me continue on a little bit. One more thing I want to add here. So now we have 3 shells, and we just continue on for 2 more rounds with 3 shells, and into the 3rd we will add 2 more shells. We will have 5. So we will continue on with the same pattern here, so the 3 shells, but here we will of course increase once, so we will have 3 on one side and on the other side, 3 double crochets. Then into the next we will increase once, so we will have 4 on one side and on the other side, and into the next we will work increase 1, so will be this row, actually we'll increase 1, work 1 shell on one side, 1 shell on the other side, so we will have 5. and so on. Now I will just continue on for repeating 2 more, actually, the sequence. So I will stop into the row with 7 shells. So I will have 5 and then 7, and I will be back to show you how to continue on with the pattern. So again, I just want to underline, if you don't understand this, think with shells, but it's really easy. But if you don't understand or you don't want to work it with shells, you just continue on and work double crochets. So only don't forget to increase into the first and into the last double crochet. The rest, just work all the stitches as they are and increase into the first and into the last, of course in each triangle. Okay, so I decide to stop here. I have 5 chains, 5 shells. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And I decide to stop here and to begin with the opening of the arm. So now this is what we have, and you have to put it like this on yourself and to see if this line is long enough to cover your shoulder on one side, on the other side. When it is, you just stop, and you have to stop in one of these rows, so with 1 increase and just add 2 more shells. Okay, now I have my 5, and I will begin to work only the first triangle. This is the first rule, so only the first triangle, and I will increase only on this side. So I won't increase, I stop increase, or better, I won't increase on this side, the arm opening side. I will increase only on this side, which means on the side I will add stitches, so which means I will add stitches only on this side, and this side will remain exactly the same, so with 2 double crochets at the end, 1 the last shell and then 2 double crochet at the end. And on this side I will add, of course, shells, so only 1 shell we will add in these rows. So chain 3, work 1 double crochet into the same stitch, this is the increased, and then of course into the second double crochet of each shell, work 3 double crochets, so work the shell until you reach the last, and then you work the 2. Okay, even if you have more shells, of course. So I worked all my shells, and now to finish here I will work my 2 double crochets as they are, so 1 and the second one. So I won't increase on this side where I have, actually where I open the arm, no, where I work the arm opening. And now chain 3, turn, and into the next double crochet, so won't increase, into the next double crochet, work 1 more double crochet. Now we have 2 double crochets, we just want to work all the shells, which means into each of our into the second double crochet of each group of 3, so actually of each shell we work 1 shell. And just let me finish the shells here. This is my second, just into the second double crochet, work your shells. Okay, and to finish we work 1 double crochet, we have 2 double crochets here, 1 double crochet, and into the last, which is the third chain, we work the increase. And now we finished with an increase, we begin with an increase. So this is the chain 3 space, chain 3 for the first double crochet and 1 increase. So this is the side that we will increase. When we finish without increase, we begin another row without increase. We finish with increase, we begin with an increase. So that's all. Now, of course, increasing, now we have 3 here. I increase 2 and exactly the same thing, so you repeat the sequence that I explained first, but only on one side. Now I have 4, and into the next I will add 1 shell. So continue on like this for the length that you need for the arm opening. So I worked the I went on for 6 rows more here, and as you can see, I didn't increase on this side and only on this side. And now we have to work the back side. The back side we work the same thing, so we won't increase on these 2 lines. So we won't increase at the beginning and at the end. We will increase here, chain 2, and here, because the back side, you know, we work together these 2 triangles, which is the same thing. So what you work on this, you work on this, so it's exactly the same thing. And what you worked here, you will work here and here, okay? Only that separate, because we need the open for the arms. So we insert the hook. Now another thing, just for the aesthetic reason, if you have here the front side, you will want to begin on the wrong side. So chain 3, and as I said, we won't increase on this part. So I work 2 double crochets, and then I go on and work my shells 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So actually from now on we don't increase, or we will increase only, I will show you, just want to finish here, 2 and 3. Here I will increase, so work 1, increase, and now we pass, skip to the other triangle of the back side, so chain 2, and we begin the other one. So we finish one with an increase, we begin one with an increase, and we continue on. And of course here we will add one more shell where we have 4 and 4, you know, it's exactly the same thing, only that now we increase. Here we will stop increasing, even when we will join together again the 4 triangles. We will work without increasing on these 2 sides. So actually there are 4 increases less. We will increase 1, 2, 3, and 4. We won't increase here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so at the beginning of the pattern we have 8 increases, and after we open, we work actually after we work the pieces, when we begin to work the pieces separately, we just eliminate 4 increases. Okay, now I will work my back side with 6 rows, and of course the other triangle with 6 rows, and then I will be back to show you only the last part, how to join together again all the parts and how to continue on. But even if I let you now with all that you know for now, it's just enough to continue on the pattern. I finished all my parts, my 3 parts, so both sides, front and the back side. And now I just want to work the first row, joining all the 3 parts. So again together, but keeping increasing only at the beginning, in the middle on one side and on the other side of the chain 2, and at the end. So only the 4 increases. So we won't increase anymore here. So this is best. Okay, so we won't increase anymore. These increases actually we work them only to create the width that we need for the part with the until we reach the shoulder. Okay, so for the shoulder actually. and then we just go on with these 4 increases. So at the beginning, I am repeating this, but it's important, at the beginning on one side and on the other side of the chain 2 on the back side, and at the end. Now I am here, so I will begin the full round from here, but if you finish the triangle here, you just cut the yarn and begin here. So it's not actually on my gilet, I worked like this. So chain 3, and as I said, we want to increase, so we increase, and because I have here 4, I will work a shell now. So this means that in each triangle we will, in each third row, for each triangle we will just add on the part, on the side that we increase, we add 1 shell, not 2. Okay, so I just go on and work all my shells on this first triangle, and then let me work these. So all my shells, now I have 7, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 2 double crochets. So I worked all my shells, and now I work my 2 double crochets that I have here. So on this side I don't want to increase. Now chain 2 again and skip on the back side. Yarn over, and on the back side exactly the same thing. I just want to work 1 double crochet into the first, 1 double crochet into the next, and now I will continue on with my shells. And here in the middle of the back side I will increase, I will work my shell, increase, chain 2, increase, and shell, because I began with adding a shell. So this was the row, okay, so it was the third row, you know, each of our third row we increased, we add a shell. So we will continue on adding just 1 shell in each triangle on each third row, okay, with our 4 increases. So on one side, so it's at the beginning, at the end, and in the middle on one side, and on the other side of the chain 2. And this is how this is the sleeve, and this the arm opening, and this is how we continue on to work to create our little gilet. And it's really easy. Now you can watch on my, I will add to the link below, watch on my blog. I put the photos of my second one. As I said before, I said at the beginning of this tutorial I work 1 more. So, and at that one I began with some sleeves. I just think it would be nice to put some sleeves. If you want to have a gilet, then it's perfect like this, but if you want to put some sleeve, you can just work all around double crochet. So around each of your double crochet, work 2 double crochets, and then continue on for the length that you need. And here around the front side, begin on this side with single crochets and work 3 single crochets around each of your double crochet. Then here work 4 single crochet, sorry, on your 4 chains, and continue on the other side. You can put 1 or 2 single crochet row just to create a nice border, let's say, on this front side. And that's it. Believe me, just try it. It's so easy. It's so versatile, because it can be a summer, for autumn, summer, or spring nice garment. So piece of garment, really nice in our wardrobe. It's casual, it's nice, it's fancy. So you can work it, you can put it on a dress, you can put it on a t-shirt, and it's really nice. Okay, so depends on the yarn that you will use. So you can use cotton, you can use something a little bit shiny, and you will have a nice garment for the chilly evening, summer evening, okay, to put on. Now this is it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed this my design, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to thumb up and to leave me nice comments. See you at the next tutorial. Bye bye.